Speakers, publishers, consultants, coaches, and info marketers unite. The Speaking of Wealth Show is your roadmap to success and significance. Learn the latest tools, technologies, and tactics to get more bookings, sell more products, and attract more clients. If you're looking to increase your direct response sales, create a big-time personal brand, and become the go-to guru, the Speaking of Wealth Show is for you. Here's your host, Jason Hartman.
It's my pleasure to welcome a returning guest back to the show, and that is none other than Jeffery Gitomer. He's the author of 17 great books, and he has a great sense of humor, too. I asked him how I can get a great sense of humor, and he gave me some tips on that. Maybe I'll share some of those today. But his latest book is called Go Live, and he just sent it to me, and guess what? This version of Go Live is autographed. What do you think of that? Jeffery, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so happy you doubled my fee to come back. It was so nice of you to do that.
I have never paid anyone to be on my show, and I've had all these celebrities on. There's one sort of exception, though. I won at a charity auction a Skype call with Colby Calais, and I just asked her, instead of just doing a Skype call with me that I won at the charity auction, will you do a podcast? And so we did a podcast. So that's the closest I ever got to paying anybody.
That's cool. But, we don't pay people anyway, but actually I've had people pay to come on to be a guest.
Oh, have you really? Yeah. How much you charge them?
$500.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad for your audience.
Exactly. But they get a chance at fame. They get a chance to record it, unless I do have some other programs where people pay more money, but podcast is part of the deal.
Right.
Now, our podcast now has 2.5 million downloads.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a relatively popular podcast, especially in the world of sales. Mm-hmm. And people who are in sales or have a book or whatever, they want to be on the podcast.
Well, we're going to talk about that. That's part of the Go Live strategy. So we're going to talk about that today. But I got to ask you, how many episodes of your podcast so far?
Over 500.
Yeah. Okay. And Jeffery, would it be correct to say you are known as a sales trainer?
Yeah. I brand myself, Jason, the king of sales, because no one else had the title. So I just took it. It wasn't vacated by anybody else. I just created it.
Yep.
I feel as though I'm a thought leader in the field of selling because I don't teach people how to sell. I teach people why others buy. So that has always differentiated me from the very outset.
Yeah.
And I'm a relationship person. I'm not a cold caller. I attract people and I attract with value. And most people don't really have an understanding of that. They just pick up the phone and make 300 calls a day like an idiot and wonder why they get rejected 298 times.
Right. But I will tell you, if someone can't figure out the easier way to do it, making those 300 calls is better than nothing.
Yeah. No argument with that. I will tell you that cold calling is a lousy place to make a sale, but it's a great place to learn how to sell.
Good point.
So I'm not totally against it. I just feel as though if I could attract you valuably, you're more likely to buy than if I cold call you in the middle of 1,000 things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, we were talking about, Woody Allen, and we were talking about Jerry Seinfeld as well. And I got to meet him a couple of years ago. And one of the funniest responses on Seinfeld, I thought, was when the telemarketer called him and he says, "Oh, I'm busy right now. Can I call you back during your dinner?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great line.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a good line.
What they have done, first of all, Seinfeld won because they changed scenes so often. Mm-hmm. And second of all, everybody had punchlines. It wasn't like one person was funny. They were all funny.
Right.
And some in a curmudgeon kind of way, but some in a funny kind of way.
Right.
And so, you look at all the people that were on the show and they all shone. They all shone. And oftentimes you don't have that with everybody in a sitcom like that. It was just magic.
Yeah, it was definitely a magical show and a magical script. Diving into the book here, look, we're, most of the world now is trapped, locked, imprisoned inside their home. And the work environment has massively and radically changed. And some of it is really a good thing, because a lot of these efficiencies that were available to us over the last really 17 to 20 years, this is not new technology, are finally being adopted by everybody. Even the most tech-resistant person ever has been forced to start using online conferencing and all of these great technologies that we have. Now, granted, admittedly, many of them are getting censored like crazy now, which is a scary and another discussion. But talk to us about some of the go live principles, if you would.
You were correct in saying that we went into this reluctantly. However, it was always an option. Very few people mastered it, but it was always an option.
Right.
Now it is no longer an option. It's an imperative. And the people who are younger are adapting to it and adopting it much quicker than the people that have been in sales for 25 years and already know everything. Well, They think they know everything. The only salespeople that know everything are people from New York. They actually do know everything. And when I give a seminar to them, I explain it that way. And I say, look, anything I tell you today will just be a review. So they don't, anyway. The challenge that is foisted upon salespeople right now is they don't understand that just because they're online, that they're not on view. Mm-hmm. So look at your background, classic. Look at my background. Looks like I'm intelligent. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to see somebody's closet door. Right. I don't want to see someone's bathroom door open. I don't want to see a bed that's unmade. I want to see a professional background. And that's part of the process is they think, well, I learned how to go on live. No. You learn how to be perceived going live. Right. And that's a major, major challenge, Jason, and one that salespeople have not yet come to understand. But keep in mind, this is only 6 months old. Yeah. Think about with the radio when it was 6 months old, or the phone when it was 6 months old. It's going to evolve, and it's going to evolve fine. The people are enthralled by the Tesla. It's a 5-year-old car. It's, you know what it's going to be like in 10 years? I mean, they've changed the face of automobile the same way Zoom has changed the face of a sales call. Yeah. And Skype could have done it, but they just were asleep at the wheel at Microsoft, I guess. Skype, you know what? They're exactly the same as BlackBerry. Yeah. They thought they had the market. Zoom ate their lunch and Apple ate BlackBerry's lunch. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, BlackBerry had a 92% market share. They're now down to a 1 or a 2% market share. Yeah. It's incredible. But this really is, my favorite economist is Joseph Schumpeter, and he coined, or at least popularized, the phrase creative destruction. And that's what COVID has brought us, right? We're in this world where people have been forced to adopt things. A lot of things are getting creatively destroyed, as they should be. Now that I look at my new life, I really don't want to go back to getting on an airplane 2-3 times a month. It's just overrated. So it's a lot of stress, and you're doing thumbs up if you're listening to audio only. Corporations are cutting their travel budgets by more than half. Yeah, because they know it's no longer necessary. Yeah. And that's the way of the world now. And the airlines are trying to pretend like they like you, and they're giving you deals, and they're actually nice for a change. They're cleaning your seat. What did they do for the past 20 years? Yeah, not much. They pretty much hate their customers. But okay, so you may not know the American Airlines slogan. What's that? We're not satisfied until you're not satisfied. Yeah, I've heard that before. That's a great one. Yeah, I love it. It's definitely creative destruction, and there's a lot changing for sure. So you've got the master video. You've got the go live secrets 1 through 5. Share some of those with us. Well, the first thing that you have to do is be prepared. You have to understand how video works and how live works. And there's the deepest, darkest secret that I can give somebody. I have an affiliation with a company called Hippo Video. And if you put in the chat or the notes or whatever, use hippovideo.com. They'll give you a 7-day free trial, complete. You don't have to do anything, no credit card, no nothing, just 7 days worth of video. You film yourself, Jason, and then you watch yourself after you've done it. Coaching yourself is the best way to improve video, because you're going to hate it You're going to hate yourself. You're going to hate the way you look, and you'll fix it because you realize, hey, that's what my customer's seeing. I cannot give a better secret or idea to your audience than that. That one element alone will give a sales guy a leg up because he will see or she will see himself or herself and how they appear, even if they're live. Now, I gave a tip to my customers. I do a 9:59 every morning live show on Facebook. I've done it for the last 300 days.
Guess what just happened to me?
What?
Facebook just put me in the gulag. I'm in the Facebook re-education camp now.
Whoa.
because someone wrote an inflammatory post, and I dared to say, this is my whole comment, Jeffrey. They just want to make sure the election was fair. So Facebook has now said I can't live stream for 30 days and I can't spend money with them. I can't buy Facebook ads for 30 days. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I should be happy about this.
Yeah. When I got banned by US Airways for 1 year, it was a badge of honor. Yeah. I'm the only customer. If you read my Wikipedia page, I'm the only guy banned by US Airways ever. And then the company went away, and I've still maintained that status.
Dare I ask what you did?
I wrote scathing articles, 2 very scathing articles that appeared in business journals in all of their hub cities, because at the time I was syndicated in all the business journals. They hated it. Then I made a girl at the Charlotte airport cry when she said, there's a maintenance issue. And I yelled out, toilet or engine?
Oh my gosh.
And she goes, well, we don't know. I said, well, then pick up the phone. I put an expletive in just in case you don't have a G-rated audience. But and she started crying, and they banned me.
Yeah. Well, this is the, I think one of the things people better understand is that you cannot, when you're dealing with somebody else's platform, you are on rented land. Yep. You are there at their privilege, and they can cut you off anytime you want to. So maybe I'll just throw in go live secret number 6. Understand that you better have a backup plan. Go ahead, Jeff.
I think that it's not just a backup plan. It's an alternate plan. So that when you're in a situation, you might have to shift to a portion of your alternate plan. For example, the customer wants you live and now it's virtual. You're still going to do an event, but it's a virtual event. And so you have to be prepared for all of the potential outcomes, because it's all about an outcome, Jason. There's no, I can't explain it any better than that. You don't make a sale, you create an outcome. And because I don't want to buy a set of weights, I need to use a set of weights.
Right.
I don't want to exercise when I go to a gym. I want to get healthy when I get home. And so the challenge that salespeople don't understand is it's about an outcome. And plan B or plan C or plan D is all about having alternative outcomes or getting to the same outcome using alternative means. I don't care how you get there, as long as you get there.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. Just get there. That's a good point.
Exactly. So how have you adapted?
Well, I quite like it, actually. I think it's super convenient, and I think you can get a lot more done and you can reach a lot more people. So I think a lot of good things have come out of this whole crisis. I think what you said about people understanding their presentation, this is show business. You have to put some effort into it.
It is.
It should be considered that way. Good lighting, good sound, and so forth. All of these things. Tell us some of the other secrets.
I'm going to share one other thing. I told my audience, I said, look, do not send a Christmas card this year. Make a video and send it to your customers. I had one guy who did 500 videos sending out to customers. Made 3 sales.
Individual videos.
People were individual videos. People were so blown away that he took the time to say, hey, it's been a tough year, but we're going to be better. Don't worry about a thing. Please bless your family and have a happy Christmas and a healthy New Year. And people went nuts.
You know what else? He got a lot better at video doing all of that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? And so those are the opportunities that are out there, and people Jason, they just don't understand them.
Right.
You don't understand where the new power comes from because they're too disgruntled about, quote, having to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give you another idea. You have a guy in Cleveland, although no one wants to have a guy in Cleveland. You have a potential customer in Cleveland or Detroit or Chicago, and you feel like you need to fly there in order to make your presentation. Incorrect. You call the person up on the phone and say, hey, do you have a Keurig? The guy says, well, yeah, I do. Well, what's your favorite brand of coffee? Well, it's Starbucks Sumatra. Okay, well, look, I'm going to send you a box of Starbucks Sumatra and a mug. Let's have a coffee meeting, and I'll talk to you about what it is that we do and how you win. Okay. Now, the guy gets $20 worth of coffee and mug. Is he going to tell anybody about it? Yeah, he's going to tell everybody. This guy sent me my own coffee to have a meeting, and look at this cool mug. That sales call cost $30.
Mm-hmm.
The plane ticket would have cost $1,000.
Right.
And you blow a day.
Yeah.
Or you could have a meeting at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 12 o'clock and still be less than a plane ticket and talk to less and talk to 3 or 4 or 5 people in the course of a day instead of just one. That's what staying at home can mean to a salesperson. You literally buy back your time in both money and efficiency, or I should say effectiveness.
Yeah, it can be dramatically more efficient, no question about
Unbelievable.
it. Unbelievable. How do you come across more personable on video? And specifically, as I'm looking at the book here, I want to ask you about the thing that is the connector of people, and it's humor.
Yes.
How can you use humor? I mean, this will apply generally in life, I'm sure, but also on video.
The first thing I do is I'll make self-effacing humor. That's the first thing I do. I apologize. I was out in the rain. My hair gets all ruined when I'm in the rain. See what I mean?
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay, exactly. And so they know I'm poking fun at myself.
Right.
If they're bald also, I've made a friend forever.
Right. Yeah. They're going to use that one.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't deny the fact that humor is compelling and attracting. Mm-hmm. If you're in a comedy club and the guy tells something funny and your drink is literally coming out your nose, the minute that comedian starts to talk again, everybody goes, shh, 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 shh. Because the statement is, at the end of humor is the height of listening. Uh-huh. At the end of humor is the height of listening.
At the end of humor is the height of listening. Okay, so the message gets across. Yeah, the message gets across. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the challenge for any salesperson, I can't give you the Vulcan mind meld to teach you to be humorous. You have to study it. Mm-hmm. There's books on humor. There's YouTube videos on humor to teaching you what is funny and what's not funny. There's I don't want to say the name of the movie because it's pretty disgusting, but Robin Williams was trying to explain what funny is, and sometimes funny is diversion. Mm-hmm. So he walks into a bar in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and a guy walks into a bar and he's got a rabbi walks into a bar and he has a frog on his shirt. And the bartender says, where'd you get that? And the frog says, I got him over in Williamsburg. There's hundreds of them. And that's misdirection. There's plenty of ways that somebody can be very humorous if they simply study humor.
Any particular recommendations on where to study humor, YouTube channels, books, et cetera?
Yeah, YouTube channels for sure. Just how do I become funny? I'll bet you there's 500 videos. There's a book by Steve Allen, the original Tonight Show host, called How to Be Funny. It's the best book on humor, period.
Okay, that's got to be a pretty old book too. Yeah.
Yeah, written in the 60s.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But funny's funny.
Sure.
I mean, it's not, that's new funny. No, it's funny.
Yeah, right.
And there's ways that you can, if you go back and watch The Honeymooners, and you can watch it on YouTube pretty much for nothing, it's the best sitcom ever. Mm-hmm. Ever.
Yep.
And any show that uses humor, you can see, I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. You look at Family Guy, it's hysterical. hysterical in a dark kind of way.
Right.
There's a Disney series for kids called Phineas and Ferb. I watch it with my daughter, who's 11. We're crying. We're laughing so hard. So it's a matter of not just looking at something to be funny, but why was it funny? What made it funny? And once you understand the humor behind the humor, or the intelligence behind the humor, you'll automatically pick it up. But this is what I've taught my kid to do. Lead with humor. And I'll explain how that works. If your kid is intelligent, they kind of get it, and they'd rather be funny. They start out a little sarcastic, but they're hysterical. My wife and I, Jennifer, are walking to the beach with my daughter, Gabrielle. And Jen goes, "Smells like a fish store here." And my daughter says, "Jen, this is where the fish live before they get to the store."
Yeah. Oh, funny. That's good. That's good.
And we're rolling on the sand. We're literally rolling on the sand because she just came out with it. It is humor and truth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. I love it. That's great. Okay. So what about, the next chapter after humor is about creativity. And then and maybe we'll touch on that just quickly.
Sure.
But mastering time is so important because even though we've got these tools that really do save us a lot of time, somehow, we're all busy. Again, right? So, maybe we're touching more people, reaching more people, which is fantastic, but we still got to find ways to master time with the Go Live formula, right?
Yes, we do. Let me touch on creativity first. This is a book by Michael Mahalko. It's called Thinker Toys.
Okay.
Thinker Toys. It's the best book on creativity ever written. It's like your mom is holding you in the palm of her hands, teaching you how to be creative.
Okay.
Simple to understand and even simpler to implement. So this will help anybody who's saying, well, I'm not very creative. If you think you're not creative, you're right. But if you decide you're going to study creativity, because it's a science, it's not, that guy's real creative. No, it's a science. And Michael teaches you how to master the science. Okay. Second thing is time. I gave you two ideas. One is making a Christmas card video. It may actually take you a little more time, but it will save you a ton of time when you go back to reconnect with that customer. They're going to want to take your call. It's not call back,
right.
Miss a call back. They'll take your call. What's that worth? The second time thing that I gave you today was doing a virtual sales call instead of an in-person sales call, so you can make 5 sales calls before noon,
right,
as opposed to 1 sales call at the cost of $1,000.
Sure.
Look at what you do and just think of 2 things. What else? Who else?
What else? Who else?
Could somebody else be with me to make this more effective? Could I ask them to have someone with them to make the decision more effective? What else can I offer to this person? Should I bring an idea or do I bring my brochure? Answer, bring an idea. So I go through all of the little things that you need to do in order to be able to master the time that you have available, with a caveat. Most people are distracted, and most people will piss away their time in the evening. The distractions are your text goes off, your phone goes off, somebody bangs on your door, wants a meeting, they interrupt you. Not good. You need to have do not disturb time in order to be able to be more effective, not more efficient, more effective at what you're doing and more effective in your outreaches. And second of all, people go home at night and go, I need a beer, or I need a glass of wine, or I need a drink. Not good. I need to write. I need to prepare. I need to be in a positive thinking mode. And I'll sit down with my wife and we'll talk about the day and what ideas came from the day, rather than going, oh, I'm glad that's over. If you're glad it's over, you're in the wrong job. You're doing it for money, not for love.
Yeah, right.
I love what I do. You love what you do. This is an easy thing to convey to somebody else, but it's difficult when someone does not love their job. Now, here's the good news. The world has changed. you can change jobs. Everyone's going to enter this field one of three ways. You're going to be a winner, you're going to be a watcher, or you're going to be a whiner. And you can identify who they are in a second. You need to emerge as a winner. And the only way you can do that is study early in the morning and study late at night. You need to go back to your days of being a student.
Yeah. And use some of that extra time that you're not driving your car around or hopping on an airplane for it as well.
Hours. There's not minutes, hours.
Now, everybody in the world who is working remotely now and using telecommunication has gained a massive amount of time that they can fill with whatever they want. But there's a lot of extra time gained now, no question about it. And a lot of reduced stress, because getting in a car or jumping on an airplane, that's a stressful experience, even if it goes well.
Right. Listen, I have 3 million miles of stress.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's not so much, oh my God, this is so stressful, I can't stand it. Yeah. It's just the pressure that it puts on you.
Oh, sure.
To be on time, to make sure you're doing the right thing, to get to the right city, to get to the hotel, to get wherever you're going to go. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, right.
So that part of stress is a pain in the ass part. And you get there and you have to be in your best mood and your most enthusiastic place, even if it's raining, if it's freezing, if it's late, if it's, so many things happen. Come on.
No question about it. Well, good stuff. Jeffrey, just wrap this up for us with some final thoughts. Put a bow on this. Okay.
You don't have an option. This is not, I like it or I don't like it. I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. If you don't master virtual and you don't master video, someone else will and kick your ass. Because this is not a time where you can say, well, let me see how it's working out. This is a time where you jump in order to be perceived as a leader. You're either going to be a leader or a lagger. And those are the only two options. You need to emerge from wherever this pandemic ends as a person who is seen as a valuable person, as a helpful person, someone who I can trust and rely on, because they're not just trying to sell me something. They're actually trying to help me with my issues. And that's what it's a very difficult thing, Jason, very, very difficult thing, but doable.
Yeah. And you've got to be a person who can adapt to the new environment we're in, because we are likely to be in this environment for a long, long time. Even after the pandemic ends. That was a little snarky sarcasm. Gotcha. I hope you caught it. Then we will be in the position where people are just going to be using all of this much, much more forever. So it's the new world, and adapt to it, because it's a great thing,
and welcome to that new world. It's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeffrey, give out your website.
You can find me at Gitomer.com, Gitomer.com. I have a club called the Insiders Club. If you go to Gitomer.com/Insiders Club, you'll see you can get all my stuff, or you just go on Amazon, get the Go Live book and take it from there.
Good stuff. Jeffrey Gitomer, thank you for joining us.
Jason Hartman, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. Be sure to check out the show's specific website and our general website, hartmanmedia.com, for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Remember that guest opinions are their own, and if you require specific legal or tax advice or advice in any other specialized area, please consult an appropriate professional. And we also very much appreciate you reviewing the show. Please go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or whatever platform you're using and write a review for the show. We would very much appreciate that. And be sure to make it official and subscribe so you do not miss any episodes. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.